Quiet on the Western Front, German. I'm Weston Nix Newies lit. Nothing New in the West is a 2022 German epic anti-war film based on the 1929 novel by Erich Maria Remarque. It is the third film adaptation of the book, after the 1930 and 1979 versions. Co-written, directed and co-produced by Edward Berger, it stars Felix Kammerer, Albrecht Skutsch, Daniel Bruhl, Sebastian Hulk, Aaron Hilmer, Eden Hazanovic, and David Striso. Set during World War I, it follows the life of an idealistic young German soldier named Paul Baumer. After enlisting in the German army with his friends, Baumer finds himself exposed to the realities of war, shattering his early hopes of becoming a hero as he does his best to survive. The film adds a parallel storyline not found in the book, which follows the armistice negotiations to end the war. All Quiet on the Western Front premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival on September 12, 2022, and was released to streaming on Netflix on October 28. The film received positive reviews for its artistry and relevant anti-war message. However, German and Anglophone critics disagreed over the film's faithfulness to Remarque's source material. It received a leading 14 nominations at the 76th British Academy Film Awards, winning 7, including Best Film, and 9 at the 95th Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and won 4. Best International Feature, Best Cinematography, Best Original Score, and Best Production Design. The 4 wins tied All Quiet on the Western Front with Fanny and Alexander, 1982, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, 2000, and Parasite, 2019, as the most awarded non-English language film in the Oscars history. It was nominated in 12 categories for the 2023 German Film Awards, 7 and won 8, including Silver Award. Plot. In 1917, 3 years into World War I, 17-year-old Paul Baumer enthusiastically enlists in the Imperial German Army alongside schoolmates Albert Kropp, Franz Müller, and Ludwig Behm. They hear a patriotic speech by a school official and unknowingly receive recycled uniforms from soldiers killed in a previous battle. After they are deployed in northern France near La Malmaison, they are befriended by an older and more experienced soldier, Stanislaus Kaczynski. Their romantic view of the war is shattered by the brutal realities of trench warfare on the Western Front, and Ludwig is killed by artillery on the first night. On November 7, 1918, German State Secretary Matthias Erzberger, weary of mounting losses, meets with the German High Command to persuade them to begin armistice talks with the Allied powers. Meanwhile, Paul and Kat steal a goose from a farm to share with Albert, Franz, and another veteran, Jaden Stackfleet, with whom they have grown close behind the front in Champagne. Kat, who is illiterate, gets Paul to read him a letter from his wife and worries that he will be unable to reintegrate into peacetime society. Franz spends the night with a local French woman and brings back her scarf as a souvenir. On November 9th, General Friedrichs drives Erzberger and the German delegation to a train bound for the forest of Compiègne to negotiate a ceasefire. Paul and his friends are sent on a mission to find 60 missing recruits who were sent to reinforce their unit and discover that they were killed by gas after taking their masks off too soon. Friedrichs, who opposes the armistice talks, orders an attack before French reinforcements arrive. That night, Erzberger's delegation reaches the forest of Compiègne, while Paul's regiment is sent to the front to prepare to attack the French lines. On November 10th, Supreme Allied Commander Ferdinand Foch gives the Germans 72 hours to accept the non-negotiable Allied terms. Meanwhile, the German attack takes the French front line after savage hand-to-hand fighting, but is routed by a combined arms counterattack in which the French use Saint-Chamond tanks. Franz is separated from the group, and Albert is killed trying to surrender when he is set on fire with a flamethrower. Trapped in a crater in no man's land with a French soldier, Paul stabs him and watches him die slowly, becoming remorseful and begging for forgiveness from the dead body. Erzberger learns of Kaiser Wilhelm II's abdication and receives instructions from Field Marshal Paul von Hindenburg to accept the Allied terms. Paul returns to his unit and sees them celebrating the war's imminent end. He finds a wounded Jaden, who gives him Franz's souvenir scarf, indicating Franz has been killed. Paul and Kat bring him food, but Jaden, knowing his leg will be amputated, fatally stabs himself in the throat with the fork they brought him. On November 11th, Erzberger's delegation signs an armistice set to take effect at 11 a.m. After learning of the ceasefire, Paul and Kat steal from the farm one last time, but Kat is shot by the farmer's son and dies before Paul can carry him to an infirmary. Friedrichs, who wants to end the war with a German victory, orders an attack to start at 10:45 a.m. Paul kills multiple French soldiers before being bayoneted from behind just seconds before 11 a.m. and dies as the fighting stops. A short time later, a newly arrived German recruit that Paul had earlier saved in the battle finds his mud-caked body and picks up Franz's scarf, but not the dog tag that acts as the identifier of dead soldiers.